Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Life and Times of Crazy Patrick. I hope you can hear me okay. I have my mic kind of a little ways away from me, but I hope it's picking up all right. I decided I was going to do a little cooking video for you today. I didn't have much else to do, so I'm back home now. I'm out in my man cave in my Class C J-Code 27-foot Class C RV. Today I decided I was going to make you Texas King Ranch Casserole. Now, there's kind of a story behind King Ranch Casserole. King Ranch is the biggest ranch in Texas, I guess, but they're not the one that came up with this. Nobody knows who came up with this recipe, but I decided I'm going to make it for you. I'm going to do it my way. There's probably 100 different recipes for it, but I'm going to do it my way and see what you think, okay? So, what I have here, I have 15 corn tortillas. I have diced up poblano pepper. I have a diced up onion. Well, the first thing we want to do is we want to saute the onion and the poblano pepper. So I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of butter in this pan here. We're going to start the stove up. Okay, we got that burner going. And when that gets a little warm, then I'm going to throw the onions in there, and we're going to saute those onions and the poblano peppers. While they're sauteing, I'm going to mix up our sauce that's going to go in this King Ranch casserole. I already got my chicken. I already boiled my chicken. 2 chicken breasts. I already boiled those. I already have them shredded, okay? So they're ready to layer. We're going to layer this in a casserole dish, and it's going to be layered, and so it's going to have chicken sauce, layered tortillas, chicken sauce. So it all blends together in there. It's going to have cheese on top. So we're going to find out how this works. All right. Well, my butter is about ready. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my onions in here. We're going to throw them in. We'll get them started first. We want to saute them till they're about translucent. And then we'll throw those poblano peppers in, and we're going to soften them up. And while that's started, I'm going to go ahead and go over here and get me a beer. You know how this goes, beer 30. Yeah, I'm not going to do a cooking video without my beer, okay? So we got this going. Those onions are starting to saute. And that butter, they're starting to get a little translucent. Let them go just a little bit longer. That was one medium onion, and I like yellow onion, so I used a yellow onion, and one real good sized poblano pepper. So we want to get that in there. Now while that's all sauteing, we're going to go ahead and get our sauce ready. We're going to use 1 can of cream of chicken soup. The spoon out of here. There we go. It came out. 1 can of cream of chicken soup. We're going to use a can of cream of mushroom soup. Hope it comes out as easy as that chicken did. I don't think it's going to. We're going to try. There we go. There it's coming. There it comes. So we got a can of cream of chicken soup, can of creamy mushroom soup. Now I got to get my can opener here, and hopefully I can get this can. We need a can of diced tomatoes, and maybe I can use my other can opener. That one ain't too good. Let's try this one. The old-fashioned cheap one here. Can probably open it. Yeah. You buy a nice can opener and they don't last. Buy a cheap one, they last forever, right? So we're going to open these. Yeah. You can use any kind of diced tomatoes and green chilies that you like, but I like the Rotel, so that's what I'm using. So we're going to throw that in there. We're going to get our measuring spoons here. Stir these onions around a little bit. There we go. We about got those ready. We want to throw a teaspoon of cumin. About a teaspoon. We don't want to overload it. Cumin. Or about a teaspoon of cumin. About the same chili powder. You know, I don't measure real close. I just kind of get it in there. Then we're going to want about a half a teaspoon of oregano. If you can get the Mexican oregano, that's really a great deal, but it's hard to find. So, let's throw in some oregano. This is our sauce here. Of course, we're going to want some salt. Throw some salt in there. And we're going to want some pepper. Just kind of play it by ear. Okay. So we got some salt and pepper in there. We got everything else in there. And so now these onions are nice and translucent. I don't know if you can see them from over there, but they're looking good. So we're going to go ahead and throw all that in there. Go ahead and shut this burner off. Don't need that running no more. We'll get this all mixed up. And we're going to put in a 1/4 cup of cream. Mix that in. Get this all mixed up. Now I got me some green onions. I'm just going to use these green onions for a garnish on top. When it comes out of the oven, make it look pretty. But this is already pretty just looking at it right here. If you take a look at this, I don't know if you can see it in there. Let me get it up there closer to the camera for you. Take a look at that. Isn't that pretty? So now we're going to get our casserole dish up here. I've had the oven preheating to 350. We're going to start putting these tortillas in here. We're going to put a layer of tortillas. I got 15 corn tortillas, and I've already kind of toasted those in a little on the stove. You know what I forgot to do though? We better not do that yet. I got to oil this pan up. If I don't oil this pan up, everything's going to stink. I forgot that. So let's do that. Oil this pan up a little bit. And I always just use a paper towel to get it all spread around all over the pan. Without that oil in there, it's for sure gonna stick. We don't want that. If you have cooking spray, you can use cooking spray. I just don't have any cooking spray, so I just use a little oil. Okay, now we'll start layering those in like I was going to. We'll go ahead and layer these in. Put our first layer. We see there's already 6 tortillas there. Now we're going to get our shredded chicken here. We're going to put a layer of shredded chicken in here. We'll scatter that all in there real pretty. And like I said, I got 2 chicken breasts. This is just my wife and I, and I'm going to have enough for lunch tomorrow. And then some probably. So now we're going to want to scoop this out of there. Let me get me a spoon. Here we go. Got me a big spoon here. We're going to scoop this out. We're going to put it all over there. All our sauce. We want that sauce to be all scattered in there. Spread it out. Get it all incorporated in that chicken. Then we're going to put another layer of tortillas. We're going to scatter another layer of this wonderful shredded chicken on here. Don't be scared to put it on pretty heavy. It's all going to taste good. Put another layer of sauce. Spread that all out best you can. We're all incorporated. We want to save some sauce for the top, because our next layer, we're going to put a layer of tortillas, and then we're going to sauce it up. I'm going to need a couple more tortillas. I thought I had enough here. I had 15. It's going to take 18. I miscounted a little bit. Need three more tortillas. We got them right here. We'll put the rest of the chicken here on top. Scatter that chicken all over there. Put it all down. I'll break it up a little bit more. I got some big chunks. So I'll break it up a little bit more. So now we're going to take the rest of this sauce. We'll put it all on there. All spread all over in there, incorporated with that chicken. It's all pretty. It's all spread around. Sorry I ain't talking as much as I should. I'm trying to concentrate on putting this together. It's not hard. Boiling that chicken is what takes the longest. That took me about 45 minutes once I got the water boiling. But and then while it's doing that, chopping up the vegetable, that ain't nothing. Now we want to put. Now I'm a shredded cheese lover, so I'm going to put a bunch of shredded cheese on here. I'm not going to be stingy with the cheese. I like lots of cheese. So we're going to put probably a good, I'm guessing 3 cups. Now I like cheddar on mine. Some people like Monterey Jack, but I just like the cheddar, so I'm just going to scatter a bunch of cheddar cheese on here. More cheese the better for me. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what happened when I brought my motorhome back from Leesburg. I got my little Chevy Spark that I tow behind it, and I made such a boneheaded mistake. I'm gonna do another video and tell you about that. And then I had a problem with my back. Like a couple days later, my back went out. Went to the doctor. The doctor told me that I had no disc left between the 4 and 5, and I'm probably going to end up having to have surgery. So I'm guessing that probably no more camping this year. Probably the end of that. And so I'm going to go ahead now. The oven's hot, I know. So we're going to go ahead and put this in the oven now. I've got it set at 350, like I said. We're going to leave this in here for 40 minutes to 45 minutes. We're going to watch it. We're going to check it in about 25-30 minutes and see what it's looking like. I'm going to get rid of some of these dishes out of my way here. I'm going to get these green onions ready for a garnish. I'm going to give you a paper towel here and clean up some of my utensils because I hate to leave a mess. But you see, folks, that was easy to put together, and that sauce is just going to get in there and start bubbling and getting all incorporated with the chicken, and it's going to be some of the best stuff you ever tasted. I'm going to take my finger right here. That is delicious. So, I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now. I'm going to take me a little break, let my back rest. My back is kind of bothering me right now. So I'm going to take a little break, and then I'm going to tell you a story about how my dad first learned how to drive a car. And I like to tell stories with my cooking videos. So I'm going to give you a story, and I hope you enjoy it. So I'll be right back. Well, here we go, folks, with my story. My dad's family, had it kind of rough. It was, during the Depression, it was tough to get by back then. But my grandfather, he was pretty creative. He had a truck garden. He sold some produce. He bootlegged whiskey. And most of his money came from bootlegging whiskey. Even though it was illegal, hell, the mayor, everybody that was anybody bought whiskey from my granddad. So the sheriff was bound and determined that he was going to catch my grandfather and lock him up. My family came from Wellington, Colorado. And it's probably about 15 miles north of Fort Collins, Colorado, a little town. They had a small farm. That's where my story about my dad and the cows came from. Well, one day the sheriff thought he was going to get real smart. and he gave a guy some money that they had marked to buy some whiskey from my granddad. So my granddad sold him the whiskey, took the money, and right away the sheriff was there. My Uncle Mark was with my granddad at the time. So the sheriff arrested my grandfather, arrested my Uncle Mark, and put him in the back of this, I guess it was like a Model A Ford. Put him in the back. They didn't handcuff him or anything back then. And so he's going to take him to Fort Collins to the jail. So he had him in the back seat. They're going down the road, going to Fort Collins. So my grandfather had this marked money in his hand. So he has it in his hand. So he's sitting in the back of the car. He gets out his makings for a cigarette. He rolls him a cigarette, smokes that cigarette. When he gets done with the cigarette, he just throws the cigarette and the money right out the window. So when they get to Fort Collins, they get to the jail. They check him, they check my uncle, they check them all out. No marked money. So they had to let him go. So the sheriff had to drive him all the way back out to Wellington. Well, my dad saw him get arrested by the sheriff, and he was scared that somebody was going to take the car, or they was going to take the car, or something would happen to the car. So my dad decided he's going to drive it home. So he knew how to fire it up. He'd never driven before, but he'd seen it done a lot. So he got that thing fired up, headed for the house. Well, on the way home, he was going down the road, and here come a horse and wagon. He didn't think that road was big enough for him and that horse and wagon, so he just pulled over to the side as far as he could and stopped, let that horse and wagon go by, and then he drove the car on home. So when my grandfather and my Uncle Mark got back to town, when the sheriff brought him back to Wellington, they went to get the car, and the car was gone. Well, they thought, oh God, somebody stole their car, something happened. So they had to walk home. It was quite a little walk. They wasn't happy because somebody had stole their car. So they got home, and here's the car sitting there at the house. So they get in the house. My granddad said, who drove the car home? My dad says, well, I did. I was afraid somebody was going to take it or something, so I drove it home. So he was probably about 13 years old at the time. And so my grandfather said, well, I guess if you can drive it home, you can start driving now. So from then on, my dad could drive a car. So that's the story of how my dad learned how to drive a car. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to wait this 40 minutes out for this casserole to get done, and I'll be back when it gets done and show you what it looks like. Alrighty, folks, I'm back. The Texas casserole, King's Ranch casserole, has been in the oven for about 45 minutes. It's done. You need to let it set for about, maybe 15-20 minutes so it sets up before you cut it. And here you go, folks. This is what it looks like. Let's get it up here where you get a good shot of it. I hope you can see that right there. Let's get it up here. Doesn't that look delicious? Huh? Doesn't that look good? Not looking very good because I can't get it in focus here. But I put a little green onion on top for some garnish. Or maybe you can see it better from here. I don't know. But so it come out delicious, I'm sure. My wife's coming out here in my man cave because she likes to come out here and eat. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. I hope you'll try this King's Ranch casserole. I know it came out really good. It's going to taste really good. So give it a try. It's real easy. It's something you can do in your RV. doesn't take up a lot of room, and doesn't take a lot of time. So y'all have a good evening, and I'll catch you on the flip-flop.